This has been a wonderful experience for ICLEI Africa, and I'm very glad that we had our technical support with Melissa Kerem here with me to engage with the UCLG Africa leadership, the Secretary General, Mr. Jean-Pierre Lembasi, along with his technical and policy teams. We had very fruitful, in-depth discussions, which the first meeting lasted over 7 hours. We talked about our historic engagement and partnership around the field of urban sustainability and how that has evolved over the years. We have now reached a point where we need to agree on stepping up our action, and our members, our subnational constituency across the African continent, are actually asking us to look at integrated solutions, strengthening our partnership, and working in a much more closer and much more collaborative way as we move forward in addressing the main issues that are facing the African continent in terms of sustainable development. And some of these issues include, of course, climate change. So there was a lot of emphasis in our discussions on how we can move forward to address climate change on the continent, both on the mitigation side as well as the adaptation side, but also things like accessing to financing and even basic issues like accessing to energy, which again speaks to the need for basic infrastructure in our cities and the need for putting these cities and these territories that we both serve in contact with each other and support them and let them learn from each other and find African solutions for the problems that our continent is facing today. So I would say some of the main outcomes were that we agreed to enter into a very strengthened memorandum of agreement, and this will be signed at the publicly at the Climate Week in Accra coming up next month. But we also agreed that ICLEI will now be the technical partner to UCLG Africa in the Climate Task Force of UCLG Africa, which is wonderful news and which complements very much our core competencies and demonstrates how our two organizations, the one being more political and driving and leading advocacy work, and the one being more technical and implementing projects on the ground with cities, can really complement each other and come together to improve our services and to accelerate action on the ground for our municipalities. So the MOU is a key outcome. The agreements around the global task for the climate task force, that certainly is another highlight. A further highlight has also been the commitment to strengthen and to seek further support for our help desk, which is run from the UCLG office in Accra, that serves the COMESA members. There are over 100 cities and territories that have signed up to the COMESA in Africa, and which is part of the global Covenant of Mayors. It's the African chapter thereof, and in that regard we feel that it is important to maintain our support as African networks serving these cities that have actually committed to the COMESA, and we will take these discussions forward with our partners and our collaborators in the COMESA, and we're looking forward to that. We also had a very interesting discussion on gender, and it was fantastic to learn more about all the wonderful work that Refela has been doing since 2011, and ICLEI Africa has been invited to approach UCLG Africa and Refela to identify 5 key women leaders in Refela to serve as advisors also to ICLEI Africa, to help us to learn from UCLG Africa, as we are also embarking on mainstreaming gender issues into all our work streams and all our programs across the continent. So there were many highlights of the 2 days, but it's also been just amazing meeting the people, getting to know the people in UCLG Africa at the head office in Rabat, a first time for me and certainly not the last. And I thank UCLG Africa and particularly Jean-Pierre Elangbasi for the hospitality and for receiving us with such a warm welcome. Thank you.